And a lot of times it's easy to, and I did this growing up in my marriage, a lot of times when my wife would do something, it would really hurt. When she would do or say something, it would really upset me and really hurt. And I would constantly have to remind myself, wait a minute, step back and realize she's not doing this out of anger or spite. That's just the way she is. And I'm overanalyzing what her meaning of what she said or what she did. And if you let those feelings fester, there's no turning back.
In June 2019, I took to the road to ask people from all over the country about their dreams. I thought I would be learning about them, but I'm also learning about myself. Join me and see what you find out about yourself as you listen to other people answer the 3 dream questions.
This is John, and he's agreed to answer the 3 dream questions. Are you ready, John?
I reckon so.
Okay. The first question is, what are your hopes? What are your dreams, aspirations?
I think one of my deepest hopes and dreams is to be able to reach the point in my life where I am able to experience that pure, innocent, unadulterated joy in life. Let me give you a little explanation about what I mean. I have the opportunity about 1 month a year, to dress up in a little red suit and go around and visit families in their homes, or if they're having a family party or larger groups or whatever, and allow children to come and sit on my knee and ask them what they would like for Christmas, and to talk to them and tell them how good they've been and how they're on the nice list. And the look in their eyes is so magical. That pure joy, innocent joy, excitement. I think I get more out of the experience than they do.
I'm wondering about that. You feel like that we start out with that and then somehow we lose it, or?
I really do. I think that as we get older in life and experience more things, I think we lose that innocent, pure joy capability almost. I feel like we've lost that opportunity, whether it's through becoming cynical in experiences that have not turned out well, or whatever it is. I think we've lost that, and it would be so nice to get back to that point.
So you feel like it's something that's attainable as an adult?
I do. I think anything's attainable, and I think that's one of the reasons. Might be one of the reasons why I like to help people and try to do things for people so much, is to maybe help them gain that joy and achieve that joy, and in hopes it might rub off on me a little bit.
Gotcha. So you feel like maybe that some of that joy will come through service?
Oh, absolutely. The more you can help other people experience that joy in life, I think it rubs off back on you. And the more you can do for people in the service returns back to you.
Gotcha.
And I don't say that in the selfish way that I do that, why I do that. I just want to, I really enjoy helping people and doing nice things for them.
Yeah. Well, if we all realize that maybe that helping other people is in our own best interest, it is kind of selfish in a way, but it's not.
Yeah.
Because it's helping everybody.
And I honestly believe there is a lot of very, very good people out there, and wonderful people. And I think that's one reason I admire you on your quest here, is you have the courage to go out
and communicate with people and talk to people and approach people and listen to their experiences in their life and their hopes and dreams. I'm more of a people watcher. I get in groups, or I ride my bike across the country and with other people.
You were talking about your motorcycle.
My motorcycle, right. And I'm more of a person that sits back and just likes to people watch. I like to watch people, how they interact with each other and what they do. I'm not a person that has enough, I guess you'd say, confidence or courage to approach strangers on the street and start talking to them and develop new relationships, which I think is a loss for me, and that's why I admire what you're doing so much.
Well, do you remember some of your dreams when you were a young boy? Or even in elementary school, growing up, where there's some things that came up, and I know that this is kind of sometimes it flows better than other times when I ask this question. But do you think you were aware of some of that childlike stuff when you were younger, or you just become unaware of it and move on to other things?
No, I was not aware of what life had to offer as a child. I don't feel I grew up in a small town with not a lot of people. A very nice town, very good town, very good family. I had a lot of good experiences, but we never really had a whole lot. We grew up, we learned how to, one thing I learned from my parents is to work hard for what you get, and when you do things, do it right the first time. And I've tried to apply that in my life, but I think as a young child or a youth growing up, what the dreams I had were probably very, very what's the word I'm looking for? Just
what most people had, or
yeah, I would look at materialistic. That's what I'm looking for, because I didn't really have a lot of things. When you work for things and you get it, you appreciated it. But I saw a lot of other people have things that we didn't, and so I remember I used to joke around as I grew up that when I grew up I would own a customized van, a sports car, a street bike, and a road bike, and I've accomplished those things. A lot of them are in the past, but the only thing out of that I have now is a street bike, my Harley. But I think as I was young, I was very materialistic, and that was from sheltered child life and growing up in a small town, and just too dumb and stupid to realize what life really had to offer until I got to adulthood and realized what life's the important things really are.
So if I'm hearing you right, you've accomplished your childhood dreams.
If materialistic possessions are a worthy dream, and
right.
Then I did accomplish
or not,
those.
You did it.
I did.
You got it done. That's cool. Yeah, and then you're using material that you've gotten in the past. It seems like, from what I'm hearing and what I've observed, is you're actually helping people with those.
I try
with
to.
Some of the stuff that you've been able to acquire.
I try to. I realize that. I have a very nice life, very comfortable life. I still have a wonderful family, wonderful wife, but materialistic things come and go. They're nice. I have some nice materialistic things, but it just doesn't mean that much to me anymore.
Gotcha.
And so if I can share some of that with other people and help their lives become a little easier and help them through struggles, and when I see them doing everything they can to make it in life, but they're struggling, boy, I'm right there to help them out. But if I see somebody that's not working to try to help themselves, it's really hard for me to give them what I consider just a free handout, because it's not helping them.
Yeah.
a free handout isn't helping them. If it's somebody that's working and struggling and doing their best, then they really appreciate it, and it helps them get over that hard time to a better life.
Gotcha.
And they will get there and they will keep themselves there. But for somebody that wants a free handout, I don't feel like you're helping them, giving them free handouts.
Gotcha.
So I do donate to charities and things like that, but it's hard for me to give to just a free handout.
Gotcha. If you could go back and talk to the 13-year-old John, or if you could talk to a group of adolescents, or maybe even somebody just getting married, people are just starting out, anything you would?
Boy, a 13-year-old John, that could be dangerous. Some of the things that I was, oftentimes I was a little naughty in my childhood and my young adulthood. But I think one thing I would try to explain is take a little bit more time to smell the roses, I guess, as people say. As I went through life when my family was being raised by my wife, really, because I was always at work. I worked, looking back now, I see that I worked way, way too much trying to obtain some of those materialistic things, trying to make sure that my family lived comfortably and had everything they needed, and most of the times everything they wanted. As I look back now, I realize I missed out on a lot of life, and that's one of my biggest sorrows, is not being around the family as much as I should have, not realizing the important things in life.
So if you're going to go back and say something, you said stop and smell the roses. And sometimes what I'm hearing, and I might be putting words in your mouth, is that sometimes we don't take advantage of where we are at that time or the people we're with at the time, and we're always thinking about some future goal, and we forget that right now is all we have.
Yes, the present time is so valuable, and that time that I've missed with my kids growing up and things, that's lost. I can't go back. I've missed out on a lot of family life because I was always at work planning for the future. Well, the future's here, and I can't go back and regain that time with the family that I lost.
Gotcha. I'm going to ask one last question that's really not on the script, and that's, is there anything that's come up for you as you've been thinking about your dreams and advice and stuff like that? Is there any parting word? Or?
Well, maybe a little bit of advice for the young marrieds that are newlyweds or whatever. Us men, and I don't mean to generalize all men, but a majority of us men I feel, are very simple and straightforward, and just what you see is what you get. And I would ask the women, and not all women, but I feel like there's a lot of women that overanalyze things. And especially when you're newly married and trying to start a new life, trust me, there's the man in that relationship would never purposely do or say anything that would offend or hurt you. And a lot of times it's easy to, and I did this growing up in my marriage, a lot of times when my wife would do something, it would really hurt. When she would do or say something, it would really upset me and really hurt. And I would constantly have to remind myself, wait a minute, step back and realize she's not doing this out of anger or spite. That's just the way she is. And I'm overanalyzing what her meaning of what she said or what she did. And if you let those feelings fester, there's no turning back. But just be more patient with people and realize all the good that are in them. And if something offends you, just relax a little bit and realize they didn't mean to offend you.
I think that's really good advice. I know sometimes we assume that they know what they're doing to us and they're hurting us. We assume that they know that, and then we find out later that
they had no idea.
Had no idea it was hurting us.
No. So just communicate. Open communication and loving communication, and don't overanalyze and let things fester.
All righty. Well, thank you, John.
My pleasure.